Hello, Sunday World Economic News, just for the website people. United States, breaking down the Consumer Price Index. It's got food and beverages, housing, apparel, transportation, medical care, recreation, education, other goods and services, and the real boomer. It goes back to the year 2000. Things like apparel have been getting actually cheaper. Second most going up sort of thing has been medical care, over 50% in 10 years. But the real winner, college and tuition fees, up 100% in 10 years. United States of America. Quite a nice chart. United Kingdom, The Telegraph, row over hike in university vice-chancellor's pay. The pay packets of Britain's university heads rocketed by as much as a fifth last year, just as institutions lobbied for huge hikes in student tuition fees. Yep, just about everyone's got their noses in the trough. As the money's disappearing, they're grabbing as much as they can before it all goes. United States again, income distribution, that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever. Nicely done in the Budget 360 chart, and I would say it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 22, something like that. There's the chart of it with the numbers. And the second chart from the same source is going back to 1917, and the top 10% income share, which really from the Second World War to the 1982 was under 35%. It's now at about 50%. When was it last at about 50%? 1928. Yeah. Independent Ireland. European government bonds up as Greek restructuring is not needed. Somebody says they're not going to restructure the Greek bonds, and I imagine that's because they couldn't explain it in under a minute either. It was just too complicated. But if the Irish think that's good news, they're tick, because it's not good news. Because if you don't restructure the bonds, you have to pay the bonds out in full. Greece and Ireland. Good luck. FT Alphaville, FROB. There is a rising interest at the moment in how Spain would be able to get significant recapitalization for its worst-off banks, the Cajas, financed. Private, sovereign, supra-sovereign. At least we know a bit more about what the recapitalization fund itself thinks on Friday. It's revealing its presentation by the Fondo de Reestructuración, something like that anyway, Ordenada Bancaire. They're going to try and get the public to do the recapitalization first, but that'll be a token gesture because nobody in their right minds private would go anywhere near it, so the government are going to do it. They're going to recapitalize. It's only a question of how much. Goldman thinks about 15 billion, 15 billion. Moody's think about 50 billion. Surely Moody's is about right with the 50 billion. Finish with 10 policy ideas from David Rosenberg, how to fix America. We start with an energy policy that truly removes US dependence on foreign oil. They just talk and talk about it. They have nowhere near it. They have never come anywhere near it, and they're not likely to get anywhere near it. A complete rewrite of the tax code. It's so easy and obvious and the thing to do. They might do it, but what do you really think? Would they do it? They should, but they probably won't. A credible plan that reverses the run-up in the debt-to-GDP ratio. Cut down on the deficit. Who's going to do that? Democrats, Republicans, not even the 100 billion that they said now. What have they reduced that down to? 80 billion? They can't do it. Nobody can do it, or won't do it. 4. A massive mortgage write-down by the banks. That's a joke. 5. Creative strategy to put people to work instead of paying them to be idle. That's a joke as well. Because if they were ever going to do it, they would have done it in the last 2 years when the Democrats had the reins. Tort reform, the only way to rationally bring down healthcare costs. I think that's dicking round the edges, but I mean it'd help, but they're not going to do it. And from 6, use whatever proceeds they can save to enhance the education skills, especially in science and mathematics, where the USA is sliding down the global scale. Yes, they are sliding down the global scale, but you can have your proceeds, but what are you going to do? Pay teachers to do it? They don't seem to be up to it at the moment, except getting their noses into the trough. 8, financial sector regulatory reforms that actually have some teeth. Again, they've had their little moment, their window to do that, and didn't even peek out of the window. 9, change tax policy to free up hundreds of billions of dollars of corporate cash sitting in reserves in overseas accounts and bring this money home. They could well do that, but the corporations will get such big tax breaks to bring it home that I don't think it'll amount to a hill of beans. 10, and last, our Republican friends may not like this too much, but in Canada we understand the importance of immigration inflows, and the USA should be doing more on this front to stimulate its long-run growth potential. They're doing that, by the back door, just letting immigrants in. They should. It's a good idea, but again, they won't do it. Any ideas of your own? Leave it with you. Thanks. Bye.